This is Nerd Jersey, and I am Alex Bond.
And I am Nicole Herview.
How was your weekend, man?
It was pretty good. It was a weekend. Yeah. I was in Virginia.
Nice.
For like a week with my family.
Solid.
It was pretty cool. We went to Busch Gardens.
Oh, I haven't been there since I was like 8.
It's badass, man.
Is it still good?
Really great.
They still have that Dueling Dragons. Was that they had that Dueling Dragons roller coaster?
No. The big roller coaster that's not there anymore, at least, wasn't there when we were there. It was the Big Bad Wolf. They're still like they still have like T-shirts of like the Big Bad Wolf, and it's not there anymore.
That's sad.
Which is really upsetting to me.
Damn.
But there are 6 main coasters, and we rode 5 of them.
How long were you there?
We went to Busch Gardens for one evening, like the evening we got there. Okay. So from like 6 o'clock till it closed, and we kicked out probably like 5 of the 6 coasters.
What else is around there? Like it's Williamsburg, right?
Right.
So there's we didn't
really do Colonial Williamsburg. We drove through it because we went out to dinner, like, and we like had some great seafood and stuff.
Because that was something I did way too early.
Yeah, Colonial
Williamsburg. As a child, it was a nightmare, but
we didn't really do it. We just drove through it, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that was the day we went to Busch Gardens. Has like a water park attached to it.
Yes.
Not attached to it, but it's like down the road. It's called like Water Country.
Yep.
It was awesome. Like we were gonna spend like 2 hours there, and we were there like the whole day. We were there from when it opened at 10 until like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were there like for way too long.
I'm not usually one much for water parks.
I know, but this one was really good. That's cool. They had some really good water slides. And it was worth it just to see my dad's face. Because they have this new one. It's called the Colossal Curl. And it's got this, like, huge, like, lift almost that, like, puts you... Basically, you're, like... perpendicular to the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
In, a tube that holds 4 people.
And how'd Gary take that?
Gary, like... peed his pants. Like, my mom keeps making the face
of the kids in that park, so he gets away with
really.
it.
My mom keeps making the face that he made, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. He thought he was going to die. It was so sad. He's afraid of heights, and he loves water parks because he can just, like, chill in the lazy river and, like, go on a couple slides, and he's fine. Because if you put him in a tube... like an enclosed like water slide, he's good.
Yeah, because you don't see anything.
Because you don't see how like high up you are. But this thing was like you're out in the open and there's a huge thing that literally is perpendicular to the ground, and he did not love that. But he was like, it was cool, it was fine. But he looked like he was gonna die.
It's like, oh yeah, you want to do it again? No.
So that was cool. But yeah, I mean, Busch Gardens was awesome. But then on the way back, we stopped in Baltimore, Maryland for lunch, like a late lunch, early dinner at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Inner Harbor? Or?
We were at the Inner Harbor.
Yeah.
And some people who are listening to this might understand where this is going to go. We drive into Baltimore, and we start seeing people in costume. We accidentally went to Otakon, which is one of the top 5 largest anime conventions in the entire world.
Oh.
And we were just like, wait a minute. Why is Poison Ivy walking down the street with every, like, person in Sailor Moon and Ash Ketchum? Like, what's going on? I was so confused. I was like, oh my God, it's Otakon. Like, it just hit me like a ton of bricks. And me and my brother...
Did you have to Google it, or did you...
No, I knew. I knew it was Otakon.
We've stumbled on it.
My family's actually accidentally gone to Otakon before.
What?
My family's big Yankees fans, so we go to Baltimore a lot to see the Yankees and the Orioles play because Camden Yards is, like, beautiful. Mm-hmm. And I like it more than I like Yankee Stadium.
Fair enough.
So we go see the Yankees there, and one year it was Otakon, and my parents were just so confused as to what the hell was going on. I was too young to really get it, and at that time it wasn't one of the 5. I think it's number 3 biggest anime convention in the world.
So by this time they're experts like, oh, It's Otakon again.
Well, no, me and my brother were like, it's
And here's your surprise passes!
And we were like peeing. We were so excited.
Oh, man.
And like everyone in the restaurant we were at was in costume, and we were just like, oh my God, it's Hal from Hal's Moving Castle. I'm like pissing myself. It was great. It was so funny.
Semi-related note. I didn't tell you this.
Oh, no.
When we were driving through Austria,
That's casual.
we were caught up in traffic at one point, and we're a few cars back at this intersection. The cops were holding. I was like, what the hell is going on? And we see a couple bikes go by. We see a couple more bikes go by. And we see a few more bikes go by. And then just like dozens. Followed by camera cars, followed by cars like replacement tires and bikes over the rack.
Oh, shut up.
And my dad looks at the sign of where we are, and he's like, that was the Tour de France. He's like, it goes...
I could just see Mr. Bond.
He's like, it goes through this region around this time every year.
That was the Tour de France. I hear it.
It's like, we just watched the Tour de France go by, and then traffic just went moving like across the intersection. I was like, what the hell just happened?
It was a very important
time to get out of the car and take it in. It was just like, by the time we realized what was going on, it was already over. But we accidentally stumbled through the Tour de France.
That's so funny.
At like this pinpoint moment of like, that's where it crosses through. At that time, they never come back.
No, they literally Tour de France.
That's, yes. Like, and end up in, I didn't know it came through Austria, but apparently it does.
I mean, it doesn't just go through France. I know that because my grandfather, who is from France, watches the Tour de France every year. Not because he particularly enjoys biking, because they're in France. And he's like, home.
So, like, yeah.
And I'm like, aw, Grandpa.
I just can't believe that, like, it was so serendipitous that at that moment we find that point.
Yeah, that's cool.
Not a lot of congestion going on in Europe. I don't know if you know this, but the highways are wide open.
And they bike a lot over there, right?
Yeah.
That's a thing.
Well, it's smaller cars, like 3-lane highways at the most. Yeah, there's some bikers. We were kind of between highways, like a bypass route, and but not much going on. A lot of farmland, a couple of shops, but not really a town that we were in. And we just happened to be there at the right moment. It was crazy.
That is insane.
But kind of just a hilarious moment of my dad realizing, without having, like, you know, you're in Europe, you don't have a phone on you. He's just like, yeah, it's a Tour de France. I was like, fuck, that's crazy.
Well, look at us running into random things.
Who knew?
No one. What I did get done on the 6-hour ride there and the 6-hour ride back on my vacation, I listened to 10 podcasts. It was ridiculous. I just, like, cleared out my queue.
You listen to some short podcasts.
No, wait, it wasn't 10. Because, I mean, I got a lot of short ones, because Nerdist is only, like, an hour at most.
Hour and a half.
Really?
I'm listening to Andy Samberg's right now. It's just shy of an hour and a half.
That's interesting, because I listened to...
when you factor in the intro, some of them go long, where it's like, all right, they sign off, but then there's, like, extra stuff afterward.
Right.
Chad Coleman's was, like, an hour 15.
Interesting, because I listened to Paul Rudd, which was like 58, 57. Yeah. Then I
for
did
the
Ian
busier
McKellen.
Guys, I think
Ian McKellen was 1 hour and 6.
Same day that Nerdist put up their Ian McKellen review, so did Mark Maron.
Yeah.
And
I haven't heard.
I haven't listened to them yet, either of them, but apparently they're two very different interviews. But they're both
completely.
So.
I really enjoyed Chris Hardwick talking to Ian McKellen, because he really kind of let Ian McKellen do what he wanted to do, because he doesn't like to talk about himself, like, at all. He doesn't like being interviewed. So it's fascinating to hear him be like, no, it's not an interview, it's just a conversation. And, like, I just feel like listening to Hardwick, I'm, like, learning so much. And then he was like, when I worked for MTV, and I was like, shut the front door.
Well, yeah, he hosted Singled Out.
Yeah, which I was like, dude, me too. Like, I was like, yo.
I mean, that's a man that's on everything in media.
Well, yeah, I mean, and he's still very tied up with Viacom. He's on Nickelodeon show and a couple Comedy Central shows. So he's still chilling at Viacom.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool that he, in a way, stuck to his roots. I don't know. I have a real admiration for Hardwick, our Lord and Savior of podcasts.
I mean, I think he's probably one of the busiest guys working in
Oh my God,
environment.
he doesn't get to breathe.
3 shows, a podcast. He does stand-up tours.
Yeah, which I want to. I saw him at my school. Did I tell you that?
No.
He came to my school. He opened for Bo Burnham my freshman year.
Opened for Bo Burnham?
Yeah, my freshman year.
Jesus Christ.
Before, I think he was doing. He did 1 season of Talking Dead, and that's before Walking Dead was, like, really big. I think it was, like, season 2 of The Walking Dead, Talking Dead started.
Yes, it was.
And
it was
he
just like,
was,
hey,
like,
let's try this because we want to talk about it.
Just starting it. Mm-hmm. Like, he wasn't really a name yet. People were like, who the hell is Chris Hardwick? And he was so funny. And I just remember being like, this guy is my kind of dude. And then, like, he started showing up places, and I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah,
I know that guy. But he was, like, so empire. Cool. Yeah, he blew up. Like, he was obviously working for a really long time, and now all of a sudden it's like, everyone knows who that dude is. And I'm like, well, I can do that. I just feel like I'm learning how to do, like, this and everything else.
Well, yeah, because the way, like,
by watching him.
And, like, even Marin, you listen to them, and it's just like, and Marin gets deep. Like, he gets he cuts into the personal stuff, which is why I'm kind of intrigued to hear the McKellen interview. But I've got a whole lineup of Marin podcasts that I've got
I need
backlogged.
to really marin it up.
But both of them just like they just have an open talk, and it just kind of starts. It's nice. It's kind of refreshing to hear things that way. I'm always kind of apprehensive with listening to some of them, like John Cusack had one a few weeks back on Nerdist.
Yeah. And that must have been important for you.
Well, yeah, and I was kind of nervous to do it because I was like, I don't know much about this guy's personal life. Like, I just really like the work he does. I like being able to relate to all of his characters. Like, there's always a sense of like, yeah, I know that guy in whatever he plays. And I was like, I don't know why I thought, I was like, what if he's like
a jerk?
What if he's a dick?
Yeah.
But he wasn't. It was probably one of my favorite interviews I've done because he talked about so many different things about like how he takes road trips from time to time and just kind of disappears into the middle of the country and just does whatever he wants. But the way he connects with music and can talk about, because he played Brian Wilson in that Love and Mercy, that Beach Boys movie.
Yes.
And the way he was able to just talk about how much of a musical genius he was and everything he was able to do, I was like, I could sit down with this guy and have a talk.
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. But I'm always, there's kind of that sense sometimes where it's like, I really like this guy, but I don't want him to be like self-centered or, I don't want to listen to this and have a totally different perspective on this person that I respect.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens when you have an open conversation. When you have an open and honest conversation you listen to and you're kind of being a part of in a way, it's got its risks, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things, like, that's how you get completely different. Going back to the Ian McKellen, that's how you get 2 completely different podcasts with the same guy.
On the same day.
On the same day. Because you just talk to them. It's not like an interview. It's not like I need to get this sound bite. I need to do this. I need to do that. It's, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to devote an hour of my life to getting to know you as a human being. And
then shoehorn in the plugging stuff the last 3 minutes.
Absolutely. Or
you're just like, oh yeah, no, you get this thing coming out.
Yeah. No, McKellen wanted to talk about his work more than him. Like
that's a big body of work.
Yeah. He was like, I'd rather talk about this thing that I was doing for 6 months than rehash like what I ate for breakfast.
But even in just doing so, Hardwick will ask the questions of, like, what was that like? What drew you in? What was he doesn't just ask, like, what did it mean to you to get to play Sherlock Holmes?
No, he talked to him about, like, the actual, like, psychology of Sherlock Holmes and, like, what's going on in that dude's brain. And they were talking as if Sherlock Holmes was an actual living, breathing human being who, like, they knew. You know what I mean? And it was fascinating to hear that. And I just liked how Hardwick was like, oh, well, you don't want to talk about you? Okay, let's not. And then there was one point where they were talking a little bit about gay rights. And Sir Ian McKellen was like, I'd much rather talk to you about... He literally said the gay stuff, which I was like, cool. He's like, I'd much rather talk to you about gay stuff than about, like, me. And he was like, okay, let's do that. And Ian was like, Well, we don't have to. Like, we don't have to. He, like, is so used to being like,
Yeah.
And Hardwick was like, no, I want to. Let's do it. And it was, like, brilliant.
Because even in talking, that's just how you get to know somebody beyond being like, what was your childhood like? What was it like growing up?
Yeah, absolutely.
What was your favorite restaurant?
Yeah. What did mom do? What did dad do?
Yeah.
Which is stuff Kevin Smith does, but it's still interesting because it's usually someone I haven't heard from.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm the worst. Her name escapes me, but the inspiration and voice of Harley Quinn.
Was on Smart
Yeah, was on Fat Man.
Wow.
And this was a while ago, but I saw that and I was like, I need to listen to this. I'm going to look her up right now. And she was brilliant, but I had never heard from her before.
Right.
So those questions were poignant. But you don't want to hear that from Surian McKellen.
Well,
you don't want to hear that from Paul Rudd.
When you let somebody kind of like take charge of the conversation, you learn more about them because they want to talk about what's interesting to them.
Right.
Instead of being painted into a corner and being like, oh, well, yeah, I grew up in Toronto and it was really cool and I moved down to... but if you want them to be like, yeah, my first project was this and here's who we worked with and that eventually led into... You let them kind of tell their own story. It's way better.
It was Arlene Sorkin.
Okay.
And
how long ago was that?
Phenomenal. I don't know. I think it was within a year, I think. Go back and look. It's a very fascinating interview.
Oh, I shall.
She was the inspiration. She was on a show, and she was kind of doing this, like... She has, like, a little bit of the accent and the voice and the, like, kind of whatever's going on there. But she was wearing this, like, outfit. And, I guess Bruce Timm was like, yo, that's her. And, like, just created Harley Quinn. After...
That was your first depiction.
Yeah. And that's why.
So...
Because of this woman, Arlene Sorkin. Mm-hmm. And she was just fascinating to listen to, and she loves Harley Quinn. She absolutely loves her. I mean, it's like she's the inspiration, so it worked. But she was like, I love it. I love my Harley Quinn fans. Like, well, it was just very, very cool to listen to. But again, like, that's a person I haven't heard from. And that's why it works for Kev. But Hardwick is interviewing these people that, like... I've seen probably 10 Paul Rudd interviews in the past month because of Ant-Man. He was like, no, we're gonna talk about other stuff. Like, they talked about how they both have fathers who have passed away.
Yes.
And
that was
very interesting to
but the way they
how they deal with it.
Yeah, but the way they kind of pushed through that and were able to kind of find the humor in it, how they were saying, it's like 2 years. In 2 years, you're going to look back on it and it won't be sad. But then they had that whole riff about what would you give up to have your dad back?
Yeah, like, there is a drop off. There's a drop off point.
It was like, so what? So my dick can't work.
Ever?
I can't eat pasta. Does gnocchi count?
I was just like, this is great.
And I was driving. I was at work, so I was listening to that. I listened to it going into work. I listened to it as I drove to the restaurant that I had my break at, and on the way back. And that's like a 10-minute drive out and back, and that whole time they were just doing that riff.
Yeah.
I was like, I love seeing that too, is when they just start running with things.
And I mean, it was interesting because I love Hardwick, but I had never sat down and listened to Nerdist, which is the worst thing I could ever say. Like, I'm like, oh
no,
my
I think there's worse things you could say.
I mean, honestly, but I was like a podcaster who's like, I want to be like Chris Hardwick, but I had never actually listened to his podcast. I just love him I love his stand-up. I love Talking Dead, obviously. I love At Midnight. I love everything that man does. But I had never taken the time to listen to Nerdist. But I did, finally, and now I'm, like, hooked. And I'm like, I will listen to all of the things. But,
that's how it starts, man.
Can we talk about this really quick? I don't know if you know what this is.
I don't think we can talk about anything really quick. We can talk about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, this podcast seems to be the podcast about podcasts, which is fine.
At times. Sometimes. We're still figuring things out.
We can make this the short one.
Dude, we don't even have intro music yet.
Yeah.
This is all still pre-trial.
We should talk about our dreams. No.
Where do you see this podcast in 10 months?
Oh, God, yeah. Only a little bit further than we are right now.
Oh, no. Aim high. Aim higher.
I would like to aim higher, but, these things seem to take time.
Yes, they do.
So it's fine.
It's a slow build.
But it's fine. Nerdist signs off with enjoy your burrito.
Yes.
Why?
It's just, I don't know where it started, but the whole thing is like enjoy the moment. Kind of be in the moment and enjoy.
Enjoy your burrito.
Yeah, enjoy your burrito.
It's not like a thank you and enjoy your burrito. It's enjoy your burrito.
Yeah.
Damn it. I understand that.
Yeah, it's like a. Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? I was like, there's a joke I missed.
You'll listen to more interviews. You listen to the Chad. Did you listen to the Chad Coleman interview?
I didn't listen to the Chad Coleman.
Because he asks Chad to do the sign off, and anytime he asks somebody to do the sign off, he explains like this is like kind of what he did with Sean Bean. It's like,
God!
If you could just sign it off, we always say, enjoy your burrito, which means like, enjoy the moment, live in the moment.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm not stupid anymore.
That's why our sign off is wear your nerd jersey with pride.
Which I came up with.
What if we just cut the podcast there? Just to confuse people.
It out of my butt.
Anytime that we say that,
and wear your nerd jersey with pride,
the podcast cuts.
I love it. Okay, so I guess plans for the podcast. We'll talk about the podcast.
Microphones.
Microphones are happening.
So
I keep saying that, but it's actually happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been at work and I've been talking to people and, discussing, because 2 people I work with listen to podcasts.
Oh, great.
Pretty much the same as I do, like the What the Fuck, the Nerdist, How Did This Get Made.
I don't listen to How Did This Get Made. I need to do that.
That one's great for just like select movies. If you've seen them, you can make fun of them. Or there's one you're curious about, it's bad.
Let's look at mine. I'm gonna open up what I've got here.
But what they we were looking at gear that they use, and there's like pictures of Hardwick with a Tascam recorder with a microphone going into it. Marin uses I think he uses 57Bs Shure microphones.
Okay.
But there's a whole bunch of different equipment that you can use. You can get those mics with a preamp to boost the signal and go into an interface. You
lost me.
Yeah, you can plug microphone just into like a Tascam recorder. You can just use the Tascam recorder, which is what I think is going to be the first thing I'll pick up for us is like a H4.
Okay.
Apparently it's got really good sound quality. We just put it on the table, we record, and it's got a USB. We can put it into GarageBand or whatever and edit it down and do things with that. And then, you can set up mics with those. So that would be a good place for us to start and then get the mics plugged into those and then think about preamps and things.
All right.
So as the gear comes along, but my car died.
Yes.
I'm getting cash for that tomorrow.
Yay!
So, yeah. I don't know why that felt. I was just thinking about money, and I was like, yeah, the Jetta is officially going to be dead.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's going to its graveyard.
Dude, let's talk about this. These are the podcasts I have. Are you ready?
I think so.
Smodcast.
Yes.
Duh. Fat Man.
Yes.
On Batman. Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman.
Of course.
Jay and Silent Bob Get Old.
Oh my god.
Which is literally just an intervention podcast for Jay. Nerdist. And The Roundup with Elena and Meg, which is where I told you Sam Maggs did a podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so I gotta listen to that.
I have.
It's 2 ladies doing a podcast. I'm gonna listen to it. So I figured I'd give it a shot. They only have 5 episodes right now. So, yeah.
I have Phoebe.
Okay.
Which we listened to that one time. They don't post a lot often, but when they do, it's gold. So that's Matt Myra and Scott Mosier. Nerdist, What the Fuck, which was the first podcast I started listening to.
Well, yeah.
I don't know I don't know why. I think because I was on Netflix one night and I was bored and I watched. This is like last year, year before, and I saw Mark Maron's specials on there, and I didn't even recognize his name, but I was like, for whatever reason, something drew me to it. I listened to it, I watched it, and fucking hilarious. And I just got so lost in like going back to his old stand-up routines, and I saw him last month in Red Bank. So I started listening to the podcast. I think the first one that I caught was his interview with Bob Mould, who was in Husker Du, huge influence on Foo Fighters.
Okay.
So I have a particular interest in that guy. Yeah. And then from there, I just got lost in his podcast. And then I picked up on Nerdist. And those are the 2 I was listening to. My friend from high school, Holly, and 2 of her, cohorts. I think they all worked for Geek and Sundry at some point, but they started the Sunnydale Study Group, which is they go episode by episode. Yeah, episode by episode doing Buffy commentary, which is enjoying that one. And then How Did This Get Made? And Fat Man joined the queue.
Yes.
Pretty
Fat
sequentially.
Man is fascinating.
Yeah.
But it's mostly just utility belts right now, which is exactly what we do.
Yeah.
Like, they just decided, let's do what these two idiots are doing.
But then he's got, like, we'll find our niche. But the way that they move on to interviews with Joe Quesada or with Brad Meltzer or with Josh
always,
Trank.
Whatever.
I'm amazed that they can fill 2.5 hours and you listen to it and it goes by like nothing.
I know, right?
I listen to these in the car.
They're so long.
That's the only place I
good.
listen to these is in the car. So I can get somewhere and stop midway through, but I get back in the car and it picks up where I left off.
Yeah.
And, this is where...
Yeah.
It's way easier to take it in that way.
Yeah. So anyway, back to our plans, I guess.
Plans.
We're going to Kickstarter. We're definitely going to Kickstarter.
Yes, we are.
So we're going to merchandise.
Or Indiegogo or GoFundMe.
Or all of them. Just do all of them.
I had a good experience on Indiegogo with the band.
That's true.
Because even if you don't hit your goal, you get whatever is donated. Kickstarter, you have to hit your goal or you don't get anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Indiegogo is the way to go.
Yes. Fuck you.
Wow, I got one! We are not making goddamn it Nicole shirts. It's not happening. We're just gonna make the shut up
They'll
bond.
be shorts.
God damn it, Bond!
Get the whole set. The pajama
my
pants
God.
just say "Damn it, Nicole" down each leg.
Holy shit. Now I want them.
Oh, God.
I want a long sleeve tee. That's what I want. We're going to do t-shirts. We're going to do
rearranged.
Bond shirts. They're going to say shut up, Bond.
We're going to get our own hockey jerseys.
Oh, but that's for us. Screw you people. That's just for me. I lost my pen cap. Can you grab that for me?
Is that essential?
Yeah, right there. Thank you. So we're going to do that. And then we'll have money to do fun things.
Yeah.
We're going to try to get some guests.
Yes. Friends and
not so...
and
well,
not
new
so-
friends.
New friends. Old friends, new friends.
Seems like we could be really good friends. Now, I don't... Do we want to say who we've got
No.
in talks? Okay, well, we have someone who we've been talking to, who I am very excited about, who just put out a book, basically about being a nerd, and it's awesome. Great book. We're not going to plug it yet, but we have talked to this person, and this person has said, yes, absolutely, done, we will set it up. I'm very, very excited about it. So yeah, hopefully August. I said mid-August with
Possibly
this person.
in New York. Are we traveling for that one?
I don't know if we'll travel like to New York, or if we can figure out... I want to find out how this person has done it in the past. Because this person has appeared on podcasts before.
Yeah.
But this person is not in New Jersey. So we will either have to travel... I assume it's going to be a meetup thing. I think the latest would be... This person's probably going to be at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
So the latest it would be is October that we'd be able to do it.
Yeah, we'll just go with a recorder and we'll do it.
We'll just go and meet up with the person, and that's it.
Talk about our experience afterward. We'll put something together. Make it something nice.
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause I'm going to Comic-Con.
I'm going to Comic-Con.
You are going to Can we go together?
Yes.
Yes! Oh, thank God.
I will tell you the nature of that deal when we are not recording.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm so excited right now. Oh my God.
So
wait, what days are you going?
I think Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
God damn it!
Yeah.
I'm only going Saturday right now.
I mean, I can arrange just Saturday, but
no, I want to go to all of them.
I know. I
just can't
will
pay for
see. We'll see how it swings if it works out in my favor.
Okay.
But I might be able to get some thing going.
Shut your mouth. Oh, I'm so excited.
I don't want to say any more about that.
No, don't.
But
can we talk about real quick? I mean, I keep saying that. That should be the shirt for me. Can we just talk about it real quick? That should be it. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's it. We just found my shirt. Comic-Con this year, New York Comic-Con. I'll be one of the billions who say it, but they need a new system because
I've never been to Comic-Con.
Well, it itself is a well-oiled machine, and I have no problem with Comic-Con as an event.
I would hope so.
That's perfect. I mean, they're actually improving it every year, like how you need, now for the big hall, you need, like for Walking Dead and stuff like that, you need to get a ticket. And it's not like you pay for it, it's just you go and you get your ticket, and they empty out that hall after every panel, which is great. I think that's brilliant. So you don't have people sitting there, oh, I'm going to badmouth something.
H the whole time.
Basically, it's not Hall H, but, like, it's the same thing.
Well, yeah.
It's the equivalent of Hall H for... We're talking about New York Comic-Con, by the way.
Which Comic-Con?
New York. Shut up.
We said it a few times.
Oh, I didn't... because we said Hall... I don't know. I don't want to...
Well, I don't know how it works. I don't know if Hall H is a Comic-Con thing or if that's the... for the convention center they do it at.
Damn it. It's fine. I got a text.
You just rip your... Oh, no, it's just the zipper on the notebook.
It's just the zipper.
All right.
No, it's not. Hall H is literally just, they always have the biggest, they always have the biggest panels in Hall H at San Diego.
Yeah.
So they just, everyone knows that.
So whatever the equivalent is
the equivalent of Hall H at New
where
York.
they put the Star Wars and...
Exactly.
Daredevil.
The biggest thing I've seen there is Walking Dead. But one year, I sat there from Teen Wolf at 2 o'clock in the afternoon until Walking Dead at like 8 o'clock at night. And I saw some of the worst panels I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, it was screening, so like that was fine. I think I saw... Oh, God. No, it was good. It was that show, what's it? It's about like Mary Queen of Scots. It's okay. It's fine. It's on the CW. I don't know what it's called. I saw that. That was fine.
Mary Queen of Scots?
Yeah, dude. It's like a historical show.
I don't know they did that.
Yeah, exactly. It's on the CW. It was fine.
I watched stuff on the CW.
It's like Royal or something. God damn it. I'll look at it. I'm probably totally wrong about what it's about because I was totally checked out. I was like, just show me The Walking Dead. And I saw Beauty and the Beast. That really crappy Beauty and the Beast show. That wasn't like...
They did that?
Yeah, it was really bad. I think it was also CW, and I was with my boyfriend at the time, and I just looked at him, and I was like, this is the worst show I have ever seen in my life.
What, did they screen the whole episode?
They screened the whole episode. Like, I watched 3 episodes of television that I didn't want to see at all to do The Walking Dead. So you don't have to ruin your entire... or waste your day...
Just to get a spot in there
just to make sure you're in the room.
Now, if I'm in there for Deadpool,
yeah,
but I also want to be in there for Star Wars, do I have to get up and get a new ticket?
You have to get up. Well, you go get your ticket first thing in the morning.
So I can have a whole mess of tickets for everything going on.
Exactly.
In the main
But
room.
honestly, by the time you get back online to get a different big panel ticket, they're probably out. Like, that's just... You have to be the first
You gotta pick your battles.
Yeah. Which is kind of fair.
Yeah.
Like, for me, it's going to be Walking Dead. Unless they announce something absolutely insane at Comic-Con that I'm going to be like, oh my god, it's going to be The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I'll be there for Star Wars.
Well, is Star Wars going to be there?
I thought so.
I haven't looked yet. I always... Because things always get canceled.
True.
For everything, so I'm like, I'm not getting my hopes up for anything. Like, last year, 2 people from Game of Thrones were supposed to be there, and I think it was only 1. But whatever. Where was I going with it? Oh, the tickets, like to get the actual passes to go to Comic-Con.
Yes.
I have gone every year for 4 years, right? And I made sure that on the Wednesday that they went on sale, I was on their website at noon. I was on their website at 11:30 to make sure I didn't get kicked off because I've heard the traffic is terrible. So at noon, I hit buy 3-day pass. Like, I hit it. I go into their virtual queue, which is literally just a waiting room. And it's like, you will not lose your spot online, blah, 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 blah. I got it on my desktop computer, and I've got it on my phone. 45 minutes later, I'm still sitting there.
Good Lord.
Waiting. And I'm like, this is not normal. Basically, I never got it on my desktop. Just never went through. And then on my phone, which was the stupidest thing ever, I got through an hour and a half later. I got through at 1:30. and I could only get a 1-day pass.
Ugh.
It was $75 to get a 3-day, and it's $50 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted a 3-day pass, but I was not going to spend $150 to go all 3 days that I wanted to go, especially because I didn't know if I could get a Friday off.
Right.
You know, but I really just wanted to go Saturday, Sunday. So I was like, damn it, and I just got the Saturday. I was like, screw it. If I want to get a Sunday, I'll do it later. I'll figure it out. An hour and a half later, all the individual passes were gone, except Thursday. I think Thursday and Friday stayed a little bit. And Sunday was gone. The 3-day passes were gone. The 4-day passes were gone. And the VIPs were mostly gone, but too expensive for me. So I text my friend, who's like, oh, did you get passes? Like, blah, blah, blah. And she was at work, like a real person job. And so she was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to go on at noon. I'm freaking out. I think she went on at 12:30. She waited in the queue for 5 minutes and got a 3-day pass. I was so mad. I was like, what? Like, I was there first. Like, I was so mad. And it's like, you will not lose your line in the queue. I'm like, bullshit. I just did. Like, come on. I'm not gonna, like, they're like, we do this, like, blah, 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 to avoid bootlegging. I'm like, what? The black market or, like, whatever, you know.
The black market.
Black market of Comic-Con tickets. It's not bootlegging. What's the term I'm looking for?
Scalping?
Scalping. Thank you. Wow,
Yes.
I'm really dumb today. To avoid scalping. I'm like, that's all that's happening is scalping right now. Are you kidding me? I got so angry. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm going Saturday. If some miracle happens, cool. But at least I have my Saturday ticket, and I only paid $50 for it, and I'm good.
Well, we'll see what transpires.
That's my story. But I want to say that Comic-Con needs to get their shit together, because it's insane that, you know, so many people were literally just bought out of Comic-Con. It's not because people are going, it's because people wanted to make money.
Yeah.
And it's not cool.
Well, that's
like, at
why,
all.
like, you look at a band like Foo Fighters, and this year for their tour, you can only pick up tickets in person.
Ooh. So you can't, like, resell?
That's
cool.
Cracking down on scalpers.
I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah.
For Comic-Con.
Because you look at people that...
they get mailed to your house, so I don't understand how this works. Like, how you resell them. You know? Mm-hmm. Unless you get it in the mail and then send it out, but how do you know your ticket's actually coming?
Right.
Like, if you buy it from, like, StubHub, how do you know? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just very...
Yeah, it's these people that try and turn a profit out of it that I don't agree with. I use StubHub for sporting events because...
That makes sense.
That tends to be, you know, when it's something that happens frequently, it tends to be people that just, oh, I've got these tickets, but I can't go. Right. When it's a concert and these people come through once a year, it's like, oh, I got these tickets for $30, but you can get them for $50.
Yeah.
So.
Ew. I hate that.
Yeah. But it should be good. Other guests will just be friends with common interests.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of...
So it's not just the two of us talking.
Yeah, I've got a couple of people that want to come on. One of them, who I've been borrowing comics from, said he wants to come on and just school us.
Oh, damn it!
But he wants to be on here, and he wants to just, like, talk and just discuss theories and things. And
we're also going to totally talk Fear the Walking Dead with him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to go watch it with him.
Yes. So he wants to have an outlet to do that. And I'm trying to get him into the podcast game because I think he would do a really good job. I work with him. And
yeah, at Guitar Center, right?
Yeah, so I see him know a lot about guitars, and but the way he puts it, like, you think a lot about guitars.
Oh no! Oh no!
So we have full-on conversations about, like, comics, and he knows that
He sounds like a dream.
I'm recently getting into it, but he's helping me through it, and he's giving me good guidance, and he's been giving me really good books to read. So yeah, we'll get to hang out with him and his lady.
I'll have someone to talk about Scare Beast with.
There you go.
How much that freaks me out. Cool. All right. So that's our podcast about podcasts.
Yes.
And Comic-Con.
The Metacast.
The Metacast.
All right.
So we have even more merch ideas now. Great. You guys are gonna buy things, I guess. Shirts.
You guys better buy things. You guys better do it.
I mean, if you want to, that's cool. If you don't want to and you want free entertainment, that's also fine.
We'll just have all the pajama pants and t-shirts.
That's fine. I could deal with that.
Lots of sleepwear. Well, this has been fun.
It has been.
Until next time.
I'm Nicole Herview.
I'm Alex Bond.
Reminding you always to wear your nerd jersey with pride.